Hey, thank you for joining me tonight. It is the Burning River Browns Talk. Welcome. We are part of the Fanatical Elves Network, which is a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. It is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on a Sunday night, and it's time for my show. I appreciate you joining me. Thank you. I am Lou Marconi, at L Marconi 251 on Instagram, at L Marconi 1973 on X, just to complicate things. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Fanatical Elves Network is a great place to get Browns content. We have great people providing that for each and every one of you. Always join us. Appreciate having you here. Thank you very much. What I want to talk about, and I really was like thinking about it today because I knew I had a show to do tonight, and this one's going to be about fans. This show tonight, and I'm going to do even plan on writing an article tomorrow. I'm going to have an article drop tomorrow talking about the Week 4 game against the. I still say Oakland Raiders, but the Las Vegas Raiders. I still do that. I'll still call them the San Diego Chargers, even though it's Los Angeles Chargers, whatever. So I remember people still sometimes say Baltimore Colts, which is funny. So anyway, I I'm going to have that article come out, and then I'm going to have I want to write something talking about what the next generation of Browns fans is going to be like, what the new generation of Browns fans. Because you know what, I'm an older guy. I've kind of started. I see it in the mirror. I see it every day. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm not a teenager. I'm not young. I am going to be 51 years old in about 17 days. So yeah, thank you. And I want to let you guys know that there's going to be a new generation of Browns fans. Well, Sherry, thank you for joining. Hi. Thank you. She is my DJF, my ESJ, and she is a fantastic, fantastic co host. Thank you, Sherry, for joining and being here. Appreciate it. All right. So I want to talk about the new generation of fans. But before I do that, without any further ado, I have to pause. So we have a moment here for our sponsors. All right. Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Appreciate all of you. So go ahead, feel free to comment on what you think. The reason why I want to say this is that there's a generation of Browns fans now, and it's not it's nobody's fault when the time they were born, because I go over my grandfather. He remembers the old days of the AFC. Well, he's no longer alive, but he would go and say, when the Browns dominated the All American Football Conference and came into their first year in 1950, and they won the NFL World Championship, beating the former Cleveland Rams, not then Los Angeles Rams, at Cleveland Brown Stadium. The Cleveland Rams moved after the 1945 season because they didn't want to compete with the Browns. They moved to LA. They used to be the Cleveland Rams. Interesting little story. And Cleveland, Ohio is the only city to have three world championships in the NFL by three different teams. The Cleveland Bulldogs won it, I believe, in 1925. The Cleveland Rams won it in 1945, and the Cleveland Browns won it in 1950. So, interesting little history tidbit there. So, going through it, and then my father's generation remembers the 1964 championship and the good teams in the 50s and 60s when the team was expected to win and compete. I grew up in the 80s seeing when the Browns made the playoffs and they were winning division titles, and they had the disappointments in the AFC championship games. Thank you, Sherry. When they had that. And I remember the team was expected to win. So right now there's a lost generation yet, but now this team's good. So there was a lost generation from, like, I would say, from like the mid 90s, from when the Art Modell move happened all the way through the expansion era until about the last 5 years, when starting in 2019, or I'll say starting 2020, when Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski took over. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write about this, that there's going to be an expectation coming for a new generation of fans, that this team's going to be expected to compete. Yep. This team's going to be expected to compete. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for the great set of facts. Yeah, it's I'm full of trivial knowledge. Just don't play Trivia's Pursuit with me, especially when it comes to Cleveland sports. Yeah. So this team's going to be expected to compete. We were once the butt of national jokes, and we were once considered a laughing stock. You know, this team is good enough to contend for a Super Bowl. Think about how close we were without Nick Chubb and without Deshaun Watson to not only winning the AFC North, but also getting the number one seed in the playoffs. Do you think Kansas City could have done to the Cleveland Browns with the defense the way it plays at home that they did to Baltimore in that AFC Championship game? I mean, just hypothetically thinking that there's two games, the at home Baltimore game and the away game at Seattle. That there's plenty of that at home Baltimore game would not have turned out the way it did if Deshaun Watson could play and we had Nick Chubb. Ifs and buts, squirrels and nuts, but it goes to show you how good of a team we have, how good this team is. And I'm not just blowing smoke. I've been saying this, I've been writing this for a while. This is a very good team. And with health and luck, we could be hosting the AFC Championship game at Cleveland Browns Stadium in January. I'll be there. That happens. I'm a season ticket holder. Damn right I'm going to buy playoff tickets. This could be a new standard for a new generation of Cleveland Browns fans. No more hearing that this team stinks or they're not any good or they're just crap or whatever. It was so bad in 2013 when I was living in North Carolina. I had a Cleveland Browns t-shirt on while I was shopping at a grocery store and somebody heckled me. Somebody said something to me about it. Well, how could you like a team like that? I mean, sir, honestly, they said that to me. And my only response was, "This is United States of America. I can like any team I want, and I'm from Cleveland. You got a problem with it?" And then when like he didn't realize that, yeah, I could probably kick your ass, pal. So anyway, that's besides the point. This standard, this new standard for a new generation, what could it be like? And I'm talking 10 years from now. Because 10 years from now, more than likely, Myles Garrett's not going to be on the team. Denzel Ward, probably not. I highly doubt it. I mean, the way the NFL careers, 10 years from now, I'm talking 2034. It's hard for me to, people to comprehend thinking ahead like that. But what could be the new standard? Because there's teams that are good every year. Sometimes some years are better than others, but there's teams that are they're considered playoff contenders every year, like our bitter rival, our division rivals. I mean, except Cincinnati's been more recent since they drafted Joe Burrow, but I mean, Baltimore's been able to maintain a standard. So has Pittsburgh. They made the playoffs last year with absolute garbage at quarterback, Pittsburgh did. And Baltimore, they won the division because they had their starting quarterback all year. We're in the toughest division in football, but we're one of the best teams in football. Remember that. And always remember, when the river burns, it burns brown and orange. I will see you tomorrow night. Thank you.